Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Robbie. It's Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, March 11th, where we come every Tuesday to take your questions about general U.S. immigration law, like general educational kind of stuff, not intended as individual legal guidance, live here on YouTube, on LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. So please feel free to shoot out your questions. We'll do our best to answer them. We're getting a lot of questions about timelines and stuff, what's going to happen in the future. Unfortunately, I do not have the crystal ball to be able to answer that, but we'll do our best to give general ideas of what's going on. If you all wanted to schedule a private consultation, the best thing to do is to go to our website, jqqlaw.com, and /contact. If you go to our homepage, jqqlaw.com, there'll be a link for contacts, and fill out the box there. If there's a glitch where it's not working, just send us an email and briefly describe your case so we see what's going on and could answer you there about scheduling a consultation, what's needed for that, all that kind of stuff. Having said that, I'm waiting for TikTok to load. Unfortunately, it's taking a second, but we see people on Instagram are coming on, so good to see you. Feel free to shoot out your questions. Now, if you're interested in a marriage green card case, a fiance visa, a marriage green card, we have a really good guide called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. It's the best one. That's what we call the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. You can download for free. Just put your email there, and it sends you an email address and send you an email with the guide. The website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Again, that's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Aaron, good to see you. And so from there, you could download the guide to get an understanding what's going on in the system before scheduling a private video consultation with an attorney about your case or with us particularly. That way, you'll also have better questions. You don't ask the general stuff; you'll have that answered already, and we can really focus on what makes your case unique because each case is different, has different issues that come up. Now, let's see if our internet holds up. It's a rainy day here in Los Angeles, which means our already horrible internet service will just get worse. And so we might cut in and out in between this whole show. But happy to help and take your questions as they come. Again, immigration lawyer John Robbie. With regard to, good to see you too, Aaron. Happy Tuesday. With regard to what's going on in the Trump administration, there's a lot of worries and a lot of messages and emails we're getting about travel bans. First and foremost, the travel ban itself shouldn't apply to green card holders. If President Trump does that, he'll get sued on that because it really destroys, makes it difficult for people to be able to keep residency. It doesn't make any sense. So be mindful of that. However, there's been no official, as of this point right now, let me check online. Let me type White House travel ban. There's been no actual travel ban, just rumors and news reports about something coming in. And so because of that, a lot of people are answering, there's nothing I could hypothetically even say because there's just nothing there to be able to say anything from. Now, it's good hype. It is good for getting clicks on my YouTube page and my social media pages. But the reality is there's just nothing related to a travel ban been released by the government. So all it is news reports of people saying they may do this, may do that. And we can't really base decisions based on what people are saying may or may not happen. So that's why we can't answer questions to that. When it happens, I'm sure there'll be a lot of videos and you could just go to read the executive order yourself to see what the situation is. We have our first question right now. Let me try to fix this. Saima, good to see you. Says, I'm waiting for a green card applied through a husband, May 2022, F2A. But it's taking forever. My EAD is expiring in advance parole. I never traveled, so I'm thinking about renewing the EAD and not advance parole. Is that okay? Yeah, it's fine. I know I won't travel this year. My husband is the green card holder. He's both stuck at January 22. Yeah, so what happens is it's a marriage case with the green card holder. Unfortunately, it's super backed up, and the visa bulletin, the line for this category of how long it takes, they didn't move this month on the F2A category, spouse of a green card holder. So who knows when it's going to finally move, and you're really close. If your priority date is in May 2022, but not close enough. So just renew your work permit. Nowadays, they're issuing 5-year work permits because of this whole delay issue. Just make sure your underlying status was never violated. It's okay if you overstayed a status after you filed Form I-485, but no other violations ever have happened. That's really important, Saima. You could have filed for that work permit. Do it as soon as possible because you get an automatic renewal that'll cover you until a new card is issued. So you want to file that as soon as possible to cover you so you don't have a period of not having work authorization. Because in your case, because you're married to a green card holder, any unauthorized employment without a work permit can lead to a denial of your case. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, that wouldn't be a problem. But married to a green card holder, it will be. So just make sure you cover yourself right there. Ehsan Khan says, do you think green card holders from travel ban countries will be allowed to travel? There's no travel ban right now, so I can't answer that question, as I explained earlier. The Great Invisible says, can I do a writ of mandamus for case pending over 21 months at Consul in Lugo? You can always do a writ to always sue if you want. Whether it's going to go anywhere, that's up to the judge, but give it a shot. Someone says, yes, expired in May, applying this week. Okay, so it's already expired. You won't get the automatic extension. Will you? I'm not sure. You may. I can't remember how it is. But yes, file as soon as possible. I think the typical rule is you have to file the case before it expires to cover you. But potentially, I have to read. I don't know. I have to read how it works. Usually, my clients, when we don't have the situation anymore because the work permits are for 5 years. But when we had this situation, we would just 5 months beforehand file it. And I think the receipt notice says that if you file the case while it's still pending, you'll get automatic extension for a period of 5 months or 6 months, something like that. Bickles, 140 days or something like that. Bickles says immigration is getting difficult. Yep. How long is VAWA taking these days? It takes years. They're backed up. They're doing interviews for VAWA cases, so it takes a lot longer. With regards to actual timelines, it just varies so dramatically that we really don't get into that kind of stuff about timelines. Expiring in May. So okay, so you have time. Yeah. So Simon, yeah, if you auto correction. So if you file right now, you'll get an automatic extension. It'll hold you over. You'll probably get your work permit before the current one expires. You file right now, it's April, May. Yeah, 2 months. Most of them are getting approved that quickly, but you'll be covered one way or another as long as you file it. You cannot file it online, so it has to be a paper filing. Just make sure to do all the little things. Include a copy of the I-485. A receipt notice, copy of the existing work permit, and passport photos, all that kind of stuff. The triple case is, would you recommend someone traveling out of the country with a 48-month extension, no criminal history? I can't recommend general to people to do anything, so I have no recommendations. If you're my client, I could talk with you individually to see what's going on, but there's always a risk. It's not guaranteed that you will return, but I can't give recommendations here to the internet like this without knowing who the person is. Paulina says, I'm currently working off the books. Will this affect my green card application? It can. First of all, it's what is your green card based on? For example, if it's based on marriage to a green card holder, the unauthorized employment is a violation that will cause a denial of your adjustment of status case if you do an adjustment of status. However, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, it won't affect it. But on the other hand, if you claim to be a U.S. citizen to get that job, that could be a problem, a big problem. Really depends on your circumstances. Also, you got to tell the government what you're doing. If you didn't tell them, that could be misrepresentation or fraud. So we got to see what's going on in your case, Paulino. Please schedule a private consultation to see what's going on for me to advise your question individually. Eob asks, hello, I'm a green card holder, and can I marry my girlfriend and file for a green card? She's on vacation status right now. You can marry her and file for the I-130, but the rest of the green card process in the United States, Form I-485 adjustment of status, is going to be very difficult to file because you have to wait for a certain timeline to place your place in line to move forward. And that's not going to happen fast enough within the time of her visitor visa. So you can start the case, but you won't be able to. You'll finish it through the embassy most likely. Download our guide, the Marriage Immigration Guide, Ultimate Marriage Immigration Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and then learn that and schedule a private consultation. Giabliso says, so I'm interested in immigrating to the U.S. Can you help me? Schedule a consultation. We'll see if anything's possible. I don't know if you have the background for it. Nitika says, my marriage case was denied a few days ago. I'm sorry. Can I reapply with the new immigration rules? It depends on the reason for the denial, Nitaku, why, if you could reapply or not, and your background, all that kind of stuff. So you may be sent to get a notice to appear for immigration court, but it really depends on your underlying status, what the reason for denial are, all that kind of stuff. Schedule a consultation as soon as possible to see what's going on. Mr. Moto asks, what procedure should I do to remove GPS from my foot now 4 months running, but still not removed? We don't specialize in detained cases and people with GPS monitors, so I don't want to advise on that. It's not our specialty. We don't handle those cases. Jay Gray says, hello. Will I-130 case from Islam be affected? We have no official word of anything being affected. Jay says, I filed for VAWA. Can you get an I-130 based on I-485 that in advance based on previous case? If you have an I-485 pending, you can file for that, but whether you'll get it depends on your background, and whether it's wise to travel is another issue. So I can't recommend someone travel on that, but we need to analyze your case individually. Unkmo says, if I didn't finish high school, can my marriage-based green card be denied because of that? No, you're finishing high school itself doesn't make a difference, but it could be other issues. For example, if you're here on a student visa and your student visa go to high school and you dropped out of high school and you went out of status, then marriage to green card is problematic. So we got to see the whole case. Unfortunately, this little tidbits of information here and there on these websites is not enough for me to give proper legal guidance. Download our guide, the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Then schedule a private consultation to discuss your case. Marta says, can I travel with the green card? Can I travel with the green card? Probably. I don't know. How long does it take for adjustment of states for K1 visa? 3 to 15 months average. Could be longer. Jay says, US, I'm going to have to mute you, unfortunately. You're making it difficult to go. Jay says, USC, a U.S. citizen, living out of the country for 26 years, want to migrate with my kids, was born in the country I live now. Okay, so Jay, that's a problem because one is if you didn't live in the United States long enough, 5 years, 2 of which are after the age of 15, then you won't be able to pass citizenship down to your children. So that means you have to file for a green card for your children to come live in the United States. So there's a lot of, you definitely need to have a private consultation to see what's going on, the best way to handle that. Mr. Motu says, my case is running in court. The court clock is running. I don't handle court cases, so I can't advise you on that. Sorry, Mr. Motu, but thanks for the badge. Glow says, how long it takes just to answer your question? You're welcome, Uncle Mo. Chris Mar, good to see you, Chris Mar. Lindy says, can I travel with EAD card on pending asylum with USA? No, EAD is a work permit card. You cannot travel with that. And if you have pending asylum case in the US, I wouldn't travel. Russian says, are they still reopening removal orders? It depends on what the case facts are. It just depends on what it is. Carlina, is this suspicious to USCIS? My fiance's dad married us. He is ordained to be very special. No, they wouldn't even know, but that has nothing to do with the case. If anything, it helps show it's real, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't make a difference, Carolina. Download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. This one says, how many days can I apply for work permits? We have to wait 140 days for asylum cases after you file our asylum case, but we don't handle asylum detained cases or court cases, so I don't want to advise on that. Chris Mar says, just got my green card interview. Nice today. Wonderful, Chris Mar. Congrats. Which field office? Layali says, do you recommend TPS holder to applying for H-1B? I don't recommend anything here, but something to look at for sure. Why not? Because they might take away your TPS. Good to have H-1B, but depends on what the best route is for yourself. Carolina says, thank you. Appreciate your time. You're welcome. We're welcome. Thanks for asking a question. Giovanna says, what kind of documents are you looking for in the I-751 removal conditions? Any specific extra document that you recommend submitting? Any general tips? Javon says the marriage is good standing. Well, that's good to see. Mayor, it's good to see you too. So for I-751 removal conditions, this is when someone got a green card based on marriage, but the marriage was still young. It was less than 2 years of marriage before the 2-year anniversary. So that means you have to file another application from I-751 to keep that green card after you had the green card for 2 years. So hopefully that made sense. Now, what kind of documents are good? It's just you have to show joint relationship documents. The big ones they like to see. There's 5. Let's see if I can remember what the 5 were. Joint taxes, joint property like lease together with your names or ownership property, driver's license or IDs with the same address, banking documents or financial documents together. And I can't remember the 5th one, but it's like a driver's license or ID with same address, taxes, lease, financial records. And what was the 5th one? There's always 5. Well, those are if you have a kid maybe together, that'd be good. I think there's another one, but those are the big ones. We have a list. I got to make it downloadable. If you download our guide, there's a shorter list there on marriageimmigrationlaw.com. But we have one sent our clients, like a 2-page guide of just samples of stuff. But the more, the better. Shelly says, good night. Do you do VAWA? Shelly, we do VAWA not all the time. We're very picky on the VAWA cases we handle. Have to be very strong cases. So you schedule a consultation, look into your case, and take it from there. But we were very picky on the VAWA cases that we handle. Montar, good to see you. Slam to Big Boss. Thank you. I received my actual green card in the mail. Congrats. Got my SSN. I also got my selective service acknowledgement. So I'm good on all that. Still need the state ID and bank account. Well, congrats. Congrats. So welcome. I haven't slept one day in the U.S. yet, but I enter for a same day run every 2 weekends. In the summer, I want to submit my range permit application ASAP. Yeah, do that for sure. Just remember, you got to be here physically to do the reentry permit. And there's a fingerprinting appointment afterwards too. So you got to be here for that. But congrats, Monter. You say, if using G1145 electronic novation, I get SMS, but I haven't accepted. It's safe to assume the receipt notice has been issued. I can leave Canada without the mail. I think, wait to see. You filed the reentry permit. I want to submit it. Yeah, if you got the notice, it's good, but I'm not exactly sure which notice you're talking about. I know I have to come back for biometric appointment, which I don't mind at all. So okay, so Monter, did you file for the reentry permit from I-131? I can't have traveled or delivered to consul. I've never had the reentry permit sent to the embassy before, but it's always where they're going to lose it. But that's possible. But did you file for it? If so, how long did it take after filing for them to charge the account? Because we just filed one on Saturday. It's Tuesday now. They still haven't charged the credit card for it, and my client needs to leave. But we want to make sure it went through. So I'm trying to see what the recent timelines are. So keep us posted on that. Alicia says, is it true that cases are getting approved in 9-10 months for spouses and parent cases for U.S. citizens? Yeah, we get those done in 3 to 5 months sometimes. It really depends on the case and the field office, stuff like that, Alicia. My priority date is June 20th. So for parents of U.S. citizens, there's no priority date. Maybe it's your filing date. But yeah, sometimes it takes longer. It's just you never know. But we get them done pretty fast, usually. It's just really luck in government. Simon says that the EAD renewal, does the EAD renewal, and if I do advanced pro, have a government fee? Does the renewal... I don't know, because we haven't had, since they started charging for EADs, we've only been getting 5-year ones. So I've never had to renew any of them. I'm not positive. Shoot. I'm not positive. Sorry, Simon. I just haven't had to do that scenario, so I don't have to look it up. Okay. So Munter, keep us posted on whether you did a reentry permit. I'm checking to see if that other case I had, that reentry permit, like the government got on Saturday, if they cashed a check or not. Let's see. Okay, we'll answer some questions in the meantime. H-1B registration and 400. No, not yet. Poof, that's annoying. Okay, so let's go back to questions. On Instagram, Maral says, hi, when do you recommend to Iranian students go to the embassy with this new travel ban effective in coming months? There's no travel ban yet, so I have no answers for that. Any recommendation? The embassy location? No recommendations. No recommendations in general. I don't know. If you want to get student visa, go and give it a shot. I mean, that's about it. There's no other guidance anyone else could give on that. And they may do a travel ban, then there's nothing you do. But we don't know if there is a travel ban, if there is going to be one, if there's limitations or exceptions to it this time, or there's just no information. Malik says, NTA after denying now, pros and cons. I'm not sure what pros and cons, what you mean by that. Says there's NTA after, potentially if you have adjustment status denied, they may NTA you if you fall within the requirements. I'm not sure what pros and cons they are. Alisha says, can you give any updates to travel ban in Pakistan? No, there's no updates because there's no travel ban right now today. Maybe tomorrow there will be. Right now there's nothing. So it's all just rumors at this point. Maggie says, didn't renew DACA for 1 year. That sucks. Have DACA now and so you didn't renew it for 1 year and they still give you a new one? That's great. Have DACA now and did AP issue for adjustment status through marriage? No, that doesn't matter as long as you came on, if you're married U.S. citizen. Schedule consultation, Mag, just be careful for that one. Marriage websites, jqklaw.com/contact. We do those cases regularly. I haven't had someone lose their DACA and get it again. Probably doesn't matter, but I'd want to sit and talk with you first. Feel free to schedule. I mean, there's consultation fee, but go to our website, fill it out, and we'll tell you what's going on. Silver Fox says, my I-130 got approved. Congrats, but I-45 did not. Ooh, not congrats. I have C1 in transit from Mexico, but I had a C1 DVs. Ugh, that's it. So one of the things is if you're a transit person, C1 or D, they usually would deny your case for adjustment status. You're not supposed to do that. You may be subject to a ban at this point. You have to see what's going on. Silver Fox, definitely need to have an attorney going into that. Consequences for NTA, you go to immigration court, and NTA is a notice to appear that it says, please appear at immigration court for removal, deportation. And you have to go and do that. Now, some cases are better in court. It's unique situations. So, for example, there's people who have cases that won't be approved with USCIS because they have issues. They have to go to courts to be able to fix it in front of a judge. But there's no way to go to court. And a lot of times USCIS, just historically, in an effort to be nice probably, even though you had a case that should go to court for deportation, they just wouldn't do that. Let's just hang out and just not do anything on your case. But now that they go to NTA, for some people it's helpful because they go to judge and fix the situation. But from others, no. Some other people, no, they're screwed. So it depends on what your case is, whether it's better or not. There's too many factual different scenarios that play out to be able to talk about it here. Alicia says, approximately how long does it take for I-130 to get approved if you apply for a spouse that's from Pakistan? 9 to 15 months. Chris Mark, quick question, John. In your experience, have you ever had a client's I-45 that was legitimate through spouse be denied after interview? Not any of my cases. I've had 2 cases where one of them came to me just to come for the interview, and we prepped and went, and the husband just answered everything the opposite of what he had told me. And it was, I think the guy was like high or something like that. He was just saying random stuff. And so they denied that case. It was like I was just going there. The officers asking questions, and the guy was just saying random stuff. I'm like, what in the world's going on here? Like this guy's completely out of it. So that was denied. So I didn't submit that case. I usually don't go to interviews if I didn't do the case, but I felt bad for the wife, and I ended up doing it. But that went nowhere. And then there was another case where people came to me because their initial interview went bad, so they got denied. I guess I didn't. They got denied because they're an older couple, and they're like, oh, we have a real relationship, so we're just gonna go to an interview. And they went, and they just didn't know what was going on, and they couldn't answer the questions, and they got denied. So yeah, none of my cases, no, because we're not going to send any case in that's going to get denied. But I've seen people have denial all the time. They're just not prepared, or they're not paying attention. Really, it's just lack of preparation. People think, oh, it's an honest marriage. Of course, you get to prove it's a bureaucracy. It's not that they're like the reality is going to push forward. It's going to be fine. It's like you're dealing with law, and law, you're just a number, and no one cares about numbers. It's just another thing. It's just, so mistakes happen, all this kind of stuff. That's why you have to have an advocate that kind of is paying attention to it for you. Chris, okay. XQ says, hi, John. I forgot to include passport photos with my I-29F submission. Will they ask me for these later? Deny applicant. They historically will not deny it. They'll just ask for you later. I don't know if Trump's going to be different, but probably not. They'll just ask it for you. It's not impossible to deny it to Trump, but unlikely. Mayor says, if my work visa comes while waiting for my green card, can I leave the U.S. or should I file I-131 form? I don't know what kind of work visa you have, Mayor, so I can't remember your case. But if you have an H-1B, yeah, that would be exception. But don't leave. Don't leave. It's a bad idea. You got to have a real emergency to do that. You're welcome, XQ. Lindy says, so no travel in the U.S. with an EAD card, not trying to enter the United States. You could travel in the U.S. domestically, typically. I don't know your whole situation. There's always risk. Trump's doing crazy stuff, but I'm not sure the full situation that you're under. Priya says, will the new ban affect people already in the U.S.? There's no ban right now, so I can't really talk to something that doesn't exist. Ryoji says, I got my I-130 approved by NBC. Well, NBC doesn't approve I-130s, but September, okay. I live in Nigeria. Will I get interviewed? Probably another year or two. Probably closer to 2 years. Shelly says, okay, thank you. You're welcome. Real G answered your question. And you're one of those people who ask multiple times, or what? Yes, you are. Okay, let's see. Jeez, why you got to be like that? It's obnoxious if you guys I see all your questions. I'm answering questions. Please don't ask something that's 50 times. It makes it hard to keep up what's going on the show. Then I have to block you, which I'm doing to several people right now because it's just a bad TikTok etiquette. People on TikTok only people that do this. Okay, so let's go back to Lul says, can I start applying for my change of status while my 2-year residency rule waiver is processing? So it's not change of status, it's probably adjustment of status. And you can file for adjustment of status once the State Department approves the waiver, not necessarily USCIS, but you can apply for I-45 when the State Department approves it. So you got to wait. Jose says, I submitted my app on June 25th, 2024. I received my SN work authorization. I got married with Cuban citizen green card holder. How many months do you think it will take? I don't know. If you're married to a green card holder, it's up to the visa bulletin, and no one knows how long it's going to take. Free Spirit says, how many pages should a personal statement be for a defense of asylum case in immigration court? It's not about pages. It's about the contents and what your arguments are. Morris says, travel ban, is that going to affect green card? There's no travel ban right now. How long does USCIS officer make a decision after interview? There's no fixed timeline. How many pages? Okay, we're getting a bunch of repeat questions. Hello, dear Ann says, what do you think about I-61 writ mandamus? I mean, if that's what you want to do, you want to do. I don't. There's nothing I think about it. It just is. Is it safe to travel to Saudi for Umrah if I have a green card for less than 1 year? Thanks. I don't know about your background to say it's safe or not, so I can't recommend that. It's probably okay, but I don't know anything about you to be able to say something safe for you or not. Okay, sorry, Free Spirit. Ask your question a gazillion times. Please be respectful of the form. Okay. Well, I muted you, but you still come up. I may have accidentally muted someone else, so sorry. You're welcome, Lul. Jack, how long will it take to close removing proceedings based on approved VAWA? That's up to the court and how they want to process things. Chris Mar says, is there a link somewhere on your website showing what to bring to an I-45 interview? No, but it's listed on your appointment notice of what to bring. Simon says, what's going on with birthright citizenship? I know it's going through the courts right now. There's no changes yet because the courts haven't allowed it, but we'll see how it works out. It's probably going to be a Supreme Court decision, a big one. Eob says, can my girlfriend who I'm marrying still stay in the U.S. after her vacation visa expires, but I filed the waiver? There's no waiver in your circumstance, so I'm not sure which waiver you'd be filing. Yeah, schedule a private consultation. jqqlaw.com/contact. Kashif says, I gave my interview. It's been 12 days. I didn't hear anything for USX. Yeah, I just got to wait. Beauty says, I have a visa. Can I come to USA after March 21st? I don't, unless they change stuff. Yeah. There's nothing that bans you from right now. You're welcome, Chris Mar. Cassia, answer your question. Tumbleweed says, my daughter is a broke college student. Can she still submit the petition? I came with the visa. She can submit the petition, but you're going to need a financial sponsor unless you have an exception. So you might need to find a joint sponsor, another person that could fill up the affidavit of support for you, Tumbleweed. So it's something to look into. Okay, let's see how people are watching live. We got a good chunk of people. Okay, so in a nutshell is there's no travel ban right now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight there will be, but as of right now, when I'm going on online, you're welcome to me. 2 days ago, let's see, news on Google, and then put it for last. Let's see, tools. How do I make it so it's like just the news for the last? Recent in the past hour. Muslim people, the Muslim Trump is weighing. Okay, so it just says the ministry is weighing this. Even Cubans and Haitians too. Well, but these are all rumors. There's no answers. Until something actually happens, you can't really sit and just say this or that. That's like inappropriate for people to do that. Cassie, I'm worried because our 2 questions didn't match. Is it a thing to worry about? It depends on what the questions were and how strict the officer is going to be. So I don't know. I can't really say I wasn't there. Can I file 42B if not a Uber proceedings? Probably not, but we don't handle Uber cases, so consult the attorney that does. Justin says, how has Trump affected DACA marriage green card applications? There's been no effect on it. So far, we're filing these. There's nothing that's been affected by those kind of cases. All right, everybody, I'll take 1 or 2 more questions and we'll call it a day. Again, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. If you want to schedule a private consultation, go to our website and fill in the information on our contact page, jqqlaw.com/contact, jqqlaw.com/contact. And then if you want to learn more about marriage immigration, fiancé visas, download our 50-plus page guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Cassie's worried about his case. The interview had some questions that didn't match. So already, if they separated you to ask questions and you're not in Boston, then it's already a bad situation. Mayor says, answer mine. Mayor, I said, I don't know what kind of case you have, but I just said, I answered you earlier, Mayor. I don't know. I can't remember what kind of case you have, but you shouldn't travel unless it's an emergency. But I don't know what kind of work visa you have. And if you've had any violations that are problematic, just too much for me to have to know before I can advise you on that. So we need a private consultation about something like that. Beauty Lady says, I have a visa. Can I come to the U.S. where you answer your question? There's no travel ban right now, so I can't advise you on that something that doesn't exist. Kieran says, hello, I want to know, my case says approved. How long should the case status change to be issued? I don't know what kind of case you have, if it's the embassy or not. There's no fixed times inevitably on these government stuff. They take their good time on things. Morad says, have gotten an approved letter for U visa, but they don't have enough for this year. How long it's going to be? I don't know how long. I don't know. That's the government will tell you when it's ready. Kim says, is there a way to track I-129 visa filed to USCIS November 6th? I mean, not really. It's worthless tracking, but you take your case number and you put it USCIS.gov, has like a page, but there's no real tracking. It's just you'll get approved when you get approved, you get RFE when you get RFE. Yasa says, can you answer mine? I just saw that. He says, hi, John. How are you doing? Well, I'm doing well. Thank you. Murad says, or answer your question, Murad. All right, well, one more question. If you shoot out there, we'll get it in. If not, we'll be calling it a day. I'll see you again on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific, which is our regular time for taking immigration questions, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Brazuka says, do you think USCIS will approve an I-61A after denying based on error and now reconsider reopening? Yeah, it's possible. That's the whole point. Hopefully it works out. It's not impossible. There's a system for doing exactly what you said, and sometimes they approve it. I don't know what the facts of it are and how fair the government wants to be. It's not always fair. Sometimes you don't have a good case, so it could go either way. All right, well, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Immigration Lawyer John Khosravi. Download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, 50-plus pages about the marriage green card process. If you want to schedule a private consultation, you're welcome, Brazuca. Go to our website, jqqlaw.com/contact. It's jqqlaw.com/contact. Brazuca, I hope that goes well. 618 waivers are taking forever to even be reviewed. So if it was denied, especially over air, that's very frustrating. Hopefully it gets fixed. Be prepared for consular processing because the embassies make up their own rules sometimes. You have to have a perfect interview for that to go through. So be prepared. Having said that, everyone, good to see you. God bless. Be safe. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.